doing, Jess? Feeling a little better? Sorry. Hang in there. All right, thanks. Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on After GMS. It is Monday, the 26th of September. We're steamrolling into October this weekend. Can you believe that? I'm Tracy McCain here with Ed Matthews and Sydney Moore.
Yeah, good morning to the both of you. I know, Ed, of course, you have been tracking just the Hurricane Ian all morning long.
All week,
as folks are
you
preparing.
know, when it developed as a little baby cluster of thunderstorms last week, and I've had enough. I'm ready for this thing to move on away from the east coast of the United States. I wish I could have that to really happen, but looks like it is going to impact especially Florida and maybe the Carolinas by later Friday and Saturday. Here's the latest information. This is a 5 a.m. advisory. I hope before we end this segment, we'll have an 8 o'clock update to see if it's gotten any stronger. It's certainly looking healthy on the satellite view. 75-mile-per-hour winds, a Category 1 hurricane, moving off to the northwest at 14. Expected to take more of a north and northwesterly track later on today, and it looks as though it's going to pretty much track north off the west coast of Florida. That is good news for most of the peninsula of Florida, but we think it will weaken back to a Category 1 by Friday and possibly make landfall somewhere north of Tampa through the Big Bend area. That's the northern panhandle part of Florida there as a Category 1 storm. And then, of course, the winds will weaken rapidly as it tracks on up into Georgia. If it stays on this northerly track, the remnant low would be moving through the mountains and foothills of North Carolina as we go into Saturday night, early on Sunday. Now, as we look at this track, this is what we're looking at right now. This will change through the week. It could pivot farther east, it could pivot farther west, and that is going to have an impact on just how much wind and rain we get. We do not see a wind problem. Maybe a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust Friday night and Saturday. Can't rule that out. And not a big-time rain. We do have one model that is suggesting maybe an inch or two of rain. Some of the areas towards Raleigh, Durham, and in eastern North Carolina may be upwards of over 3 inches of rain. But again, this is based on what we're looking at now. If the track shifts, all of this is going to go out the back window, and we're going to, update everything. And that's the reason it's so critical that you stay with us through the week as we get new information on the track. Ian is now a hurricane, is expected, as I mentioned, to become a stronger major hurricane, maybe sustained winds 140 miles per hour off the west coast of Florida by Tuesday and Wednesday. It'll track off the west coast of Florida. Possible landfall based on the current track somewhere north of Tampa on Thursday or Friday. Impacts for the triad based on what we see now. Some wind, maybe a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust, and maybe an inch or so of rain. Nothing destructive, and we do not expect hurricane force winds. Once this system moves inland, as all tropical systems do, they weaken rather quickly. In the meantime, nice weather. That gives me more time to look at the tropics. With this big blue H high pressure building in over the region, another nice batch of cooler, drier air will bring several nice days to the Piedmont, and that next front to our north will swing through on Wednesday as a dry front and just kind of reinforce the already cool air over our part of the Piedmont. Mostly sunny, mid and upper 70s today, mid 70s tomorrow. You see how the trend is for the temperatures to cool down a little bit, around 70 Wednesday and Thursday. We'll start to see some high level clouds build in on Thursday. And again, the time frame based on the current information for some wind, a little wind and some rain later Friday afternoon and through the day on Saturday. And then this thing will scoot on out. And right now, I think we might be able to salvage Sunday. We'll keep you updated. The key point here I want to make is this is a very fluid forecast, and things will change through the rest of the week. So stay with us, and we'll keep you updated.
I am, it's good to see that things are going to be pretty cool here in terms of just with the sun, very nice weather today. I am curious, just want to ask you if maybe there's some viewers out there who do have family members out near in that Florida area, what advice would you give them to relate to the family members?
Well, tell them to get ready. I would say residents around the Tampa Bay area and points to the north. Now that, again, as I have said many, many times, that's based on the information that we're looking at right now. It could shift a little bit farther south. It could shift a little bit farther to the west up the coast of Florida. I think the bit of good news, after maxing out as a Category 4 storm, we think that upper level winds are going to increase in that area. And if that happens, and I hope it does, it would help to weaken the storm. And it could make landfall as a somewhat weaker but still dangerous Category 1 hurricane somewhere north of Tampa, Thursday, Friday time frame. But this changes every time we get an update, and so we just adjust things according. But if you have friends and family, you might have property in that area of Florida, northern Florida, the northern half of Florida, I would say be prepared. Here locally, what should you do? You know what I'd do? If I had, a big yard and all that, I live in a little condo, but trim dead tree limbs off of trees. Not only would that potentially help you for later this week, but remember we have ice in the winter, so you want to get rid of those dead tree limbs. And the warm season is about over with. So yeah, go ahead. I did this at my mom's house when I was there this past week. Go ahead and store the outdoor patio furniture. Not really going to need it anymore this season as we cool down. Just to be prepared. That's what you can do right now, and of course we continue to keep you updated through the week. It is critical that you stay tuned to us for those updates.
Well, this will not be the last time we mention Hurricane Ian, so like Ed said, we'll keep you updated right here on programs like After GMS, our other social platforms, and of course WFMYnews2.com. We have a fun conversation coming up, but first let's get to some morning headlines. While we're watching Hurricane Ian develop, help is still needed for those dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Fiona. WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller was at PTI Airport this morning as Samaritan's Purse sent more help to Puerto Rico.
Samaritan's Purse has its own plane hangar to assist with disasters like these. They sent off a cargo plane full of supplies from their location here in Greensboro, and their plane will land in Puerto Rico by 9 a.m. Now, families on the island have gone without for more than a week. Samaritan's Purse sent crews out immediately after the storm hit to offer relief to families. And right now they have about 16 people working with boots on the ground. Their specialist on the island says clean water and emergency shelter are critical needs right now. And the shipment making its way to the island from Greensboro this morning has water filtration units, jerry cans, tarp, and other materials to support people struggling to rebuild.
The day after the storm hit, we had staff on the island that started work. We've sent down 2 planes already of supplies and people. This will be the third flight that we have. We're primarily focusing in some of the southern and western areas, but we are providing at least tarps and water systems on all parts of the island.
And that plane making its way to Puerto Rico this morning has 27 tons of emergency relief supplies.
Some other big news in our area, Toyota announcing a $1 million investment to the community to prepare the next generation of workers. The money will be split between North Carolina A&T and communities and schools of Randolph County. Both programs are excited for the money and they already have plans for it. The investment comes as Toyota plans to bring 2,000 jobs to a new battery plant at the mega site.
A popular grocery store is coming to an already busy part of Greensboro. Lidl announced plans to build a store at Pisgah Church Road in Lawndale. City Council says the new store is helping with economic growth in Greensboro. They also say there are other parts of town that need grocery stores and hope they will be coming soon. Also, the Panthers snapped a 9-game losing streak dating back to last season. Carolina finally picking up a win against the Saints on Sunday, 22-14. The offense still struggled to find a rhythm, but the Carolina defense kept them ahead. Next week, they will look to get a win streak going as they face off against the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, today is Better Breakfast Day, a day focused on making sure you're taking advantage of the most important meal of the day.
So this morning, we want to know what's your favorite breakfast. What does your typical morning meal look like? So go ahead and let us know in the comments.
So there's a marketing firm out of Nashville that put together some breakfast numbers after a survey about their breakfast habits. They find 3/4 of people are rarely satisfied with their breakfast options. 54% said if they have to decide what they want for breakfast, it's going to be eggs. And 43% say they base what they decide to have for breakfast on convenience.
Yeah.
So convenience and eggs sounds like a biscuit to me.
Very nice.
And actually, some people on our feed have said that very thing. LeVar said that he had a bacon biscuit this morning. And Bobby Odom said that he also had a biscuit this morning and is having some bow rounds on the side. Love some bow rounds.
Ed, what's your breakfast combination look like?
There's a big difference between what I like for breakfast and what I usually have for breakfast. I mean, I jump out of bed at 1:30. I'm on the computer looking at Ian and trying to figure out things and get ready for the Good Morning Show early. So this morning I grabbed a bowl of grits, just instant grits, sometime instant oatmeal. But now on my day off, every once in a while I got to go to Tex and Shirley's.
Oh.
And I splurge. We're talking about, scrambled eggs and ham and grits and sausage. Big glass of chocolate milk.
Y'all making me hungry.
Chocolate milk.
Yeah, I'm a little kid. I love my chocolate milk now.
For me, I'm not really a big breakfast person, sad to say. I've missed breakfast a lot of different times, just maybe naturally. But if I do, I really will just make some eggs and literally just eat a plate of eggs like that for some nice protein. But that's pretty much it for me.
So when you go to brunch, are you ordering off the lunch menu?
I do a little bit. Maybe it just kind of just depends on the day, but mostly I do just go straight to lunch and then dinner.
Yeah, and sometimes eating these little bowls of grits, which really don't fill you up very much. I'll go into the break room, and I checked this morning. They've got those powdered donuts, the little pack of about 5 or 7. I resisted. But that's usually the second breakfast that I have here at work.
That's funny. So I usually have breakfast every morning, of course, but I pack it ahead of time. So I made my eggs last night.
There you go.
And usually egg whites, and then I'll have like some type of pastry or something like that. And also, wheat thins. First thing in the morning, I'm always snacking on wheat thins just because I think that they're like just, satisfying little treat until I have breakfast, which I'm longing to have any moment now.
Yeah, and sometimes during commercial breaks, you get out the old smoothie mixer and make some pretty incredible looking smoothies with protein powder and all that. You healthy girl.
Fresh fruit,
water
or almond milk.
Oh, you can't go wrong with almond milk.
Yes, yes, I love it. So Ramona said turkey, bacon, cheese and eggs, and grits. LeVar said not a big egg person. Arthur said love Tex and Shirley's Ed.
Oh, yeah.
Carol said I like steak and eggs, but usually settle for eggs and sausage. Me too. Arthur also said it is bow time. It is bow time. All right.
That's
well, thanks so much for this very fun but short conversation. We've got to get ready for the Good Morning Show at 9 a.m. on WFMY News 2, the main channel, so we hope to see you there.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Take
Yeah.
it. Oh, do we have another forecast?
Are we going to take a look at the forecast? If we've got time, we'll do that. Wanted to say, look here, the brand new data. While we were chit-chatting, they sent the new advisory. Still 75-mile-per-hour wind, so it hasn't gotten any stronger. But I'll tell you what, it's looking better organized on the satellite movie. About 90 miles west-southwest of Grand Cayman Island. That's a beautiful island. Moving off to the northwest at 14 miles per hour. I'll have a complete update coming up today at 9 o'clock, as a matter of fact, and again on WFMY News 2 at noon. In the meantime, before we have possible impacts later Friday and Saturday from Ian, we got some nice weather, mid and upper 70s today, mid 70s tomorrow. The trend will be for a cool down through the week, around 70 Wednesday and Thursday. Those high-level clouds out ahead of the system start to build in on Thursday, and again, we're still looking at the time frame for maybe an inch or so of rain, maybe a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust based on what we're seeing now, coming later Friday afternoon through the day on Saturday. So right now, we don't see anything destructive. Absolutely don't expect hurricane force winds here, but of course, we're going to keep you posted through the week, so you stay tuned.
All right, now we're going to get ready for the Good Morning Show at 9 a.m. We certainly appreciate your time, and we'll see you guys next time.
Take it easy.